What is your name and when were you first diagnosed?
I'm Maria. I have been diagnosed with several different mental illness, and I was diagnosed in 2005 with bipolar 2, schizoaffective, homicidal, psychotic, and homicidal tendencies. Greetings. My name is Faye Kelly. I am a citizen of the Dallas, Texas area. As far as I can remember, it was back in late part of 1983, after having my firstborn, that I was diagnosed for depression. The depression onset came due to some family issues that I was dealing with, and also learning about being adopted and having a chance to meet my birth mom, who has passed in the last 3 years. Uh, that I do not, I was unable to find out if mental illness existed in my birth family. After being diagnosed with depression, it made me stop and think, is mental illness something that is hereditary and that you inherit from your family bloodline, or is mental illness something that is brought on about traumatic issues that you've had to deal with in your lifetime?
Do you feel mental illness controls your life?
No, I don't think that my illness controlled my life, but in some cases it do, and it takes family to help you control or get a handle on things. Does mental illness control my life? That's a two-part question. Yes and no. I believe mental illness controls my life when I allow it to. Back in 2012, I lost a best friend in January, and in March of 2012, I lost my mother. I sunk into a deep depression where I didn't want to eat, sleep, or get out of bed. And I felt then that mental illness, or I had allowed my depression to control my life. Because if it hadn't been for the love of my children, my sister, and family coming around telling me how much they love me, I believe I would have stayed where I was in a deep depression. All I wanted to do was sleep. But I had to decide that there was three C's that I had to decide: choice, chance, and change. And that's when I became in control of my depression.
If you could change one thing about your illness, what would it be and
The thing
why?
that would change would be my bipolar, the highs and the lows. I'd rather have the highs than the lows. The lows are being down, depressed, angry, upset, and wanting to hurt other people. In conclusion, I'd like to say, if I could change anything about my depression, it would be to not have as many down days as I do, and have more up days. Because life is too short, and it's best to live it the best you can while you can. And if I could change anything, it would be in hopes that my siblings, also not myself, my offspring, would not be affected the way it has affected me. I would hope that it would bypass them and that they can live a productive life.
Survivors of suicide.
My name is Adrienne Lachey. 10 years ago, I witnessed one of my best friends commit suicide after her boyfriend infected her with the HIV virus. At that time, I didn't know that there were things going on in her mind and there were things going on with her that she just couldn't deal with anymore. I didn't know that her soul was disturbed to the point where she felt like life was not worth living. Suicide has affected millions over the years. When someone shows you a sign, please take those signs seriously. There were times where she's tried to reach out to me and talk to me, and I was too busy. I didn't have time. I had practice here, things to do there, shopping to do. I was so self-centered in my mind that I didn't see the signs that someone was showing me to help them. Social media has conditioned our minds to think that it's a taboo. Something that we shouldn't bring up, something that we shouldn't talk about. It is serious if we can talk about equality for all. Then we can talk about someone taking their life because it affects so many other people. If there is anyone out there who wants to take your life, if you plan to do that, please think twice about it. Think about the people who have to carry the cross and live with what you've done. Nothing in life is that bad without prayer and faith. Please don't feel like you have no other choice but to take your life. It's not worth it. If you have kids, look at your children before you take that leap. And think about what could happen to them if you're not here to protect them, to teach them, to guide them, so they don't make the same mistakes that you made to get you where you are right now, for you to think that it can never get better. I wish that I would have been that person to help her and stop her before she did what she did. But that's neither here nor there because she's not here. But when I look at her parents and how they still mourn her 10 years later because they can't let go, I realize that this is more serious than it's ever been. Please.
From the other side.
You're in school for psychology. What is your take on it?
Well, if there's one thing that I have learned and that I will hold on to for the remainder of my career, is that you have to properly diagnose a patient or a client. Because if not, you will give them medication that will not properly suit their situation. Everybody has a unique situation in terms of what they're dealing with mentally, spiritually, physically, and all of the sort. So in order to properly diagnose someone, you have to assess them the right way. You have to screen them. You have to figure out what it is that will work for them. And so once you do that, make sure that they're being given the right medication, because this medication could be their lifeline. If it is not the right one, they will not get the treatment that is effective. It will not work for them at all. And the next thing you know, they may end up worse off than what they began. And so that means they have to fit the criteria from A to Z, whatever the criteria is, if not more. That one missing link can be the determining factor of whether they are said that they are depressed or not, bipolar or not. So it's very important, more than important, to properly diagnose.
One who does, what would you say?
What I have learned, and I'm so glad that I've learned this before I've actually gotten in the field and dealt with people who have real problems, it's listen to what they are saying. If they say this does not help, or that does not help, or this has nothing to do with me, I need this, listen to them. Because it is them who needs the help, who's going to need whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be prescribing the medication if you are a psychiatrist, providing the mental therapy, or if you are a psychologist. It is going to be pretty much left up to you, along with whoever is in their life, to help fix whatever their problem is or to make it a little bit better. So I would say listen to what their requests are. If they say, please don't say that to me because that's a trigger for me, don't say it. It's as simple as that.
Well, thank you. I believe that's all the questions I have for you today.
Well, thank you.
Do you have anything else you would like to add?
I would basically like to say if it gets down to a point to where you're confused as to how you're feeling, why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and it's going on for way too long, go get assessed. I don't think there's anything wrong with someone saying, well, it's a good thing you checked, but there's nothing wrong with you. It's something about that confirmation from a professional who has done what they needed to do to get to that point of being able to say, I am a professional, that makes all the world of a difference. So just go get checked out, just to make sure you're good in your mental, you're good in your physical, you're good in your spiritual, because then it's easier for you to live a better life, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. That's my perspective from the other side of someone who does not suffer with any sort of mental illness that I know of.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You do the same.
When you're a baby, you don't know what life has in store for you. It can always be changing. Growing up, I always had a smile on my face, friends to hang out with, everything. I was the life of the party. Never in a million years did I ever guess that my life would change in 2012. At the age of 5, I learned what death was all about. I lost my best friend of all of 1 year to her cousin. He killed her, her sister, and her mom. At the age of 5, I was in kindergarten. I never even knew what death was. Never had been presented with death. But it was presented that day. And it affected me. Shortly after, my parents got a divorce. And the life I knew, the life I lived, was over. It was weekends at Dad's, weeks with Mom. And it hurt. My family was no longer my family. And my mom had to take care of me and my brother. At the age of 6, 7, 8, I decided I wanted to go live with my dad. So once again, my family was split. I didn't get to see my brother. I didn't get to see my mom as much. But we were split. And in middle school, I was bullied. I was called fat. I was called ugly. I was called every name in a book. Escalade, Cadillac. And yeah, most people would think that's funny. But that hurt. I attempted to commit suicide. But a friend told my dad what I was attempting to do. And my dad stopped me. People don't realize when you talk about a person, what a person is actually going through on the inside. During those times, I had to uproot my life. I had to move from where I've always grown up to a whole different part of town. And I had to deal with people who I've never known call me names, ridicule me, hurt me. And it hurts so bad. And I don't think people understand the effects that they have on your life when they hurt you. And it affected me. I grew out of it, of course. I never got help till 2012. 2012, I had went into a deep depression because I got sick with pneumonia and I was working 2 jobs. I had my own place and my own car. I was very independent, always very independent. And I lost everything. Everything. Just like that. It was gone. And it hurt because that was my life. And I didn't know how to get it back. So my mom suggested that I go get help. And that's what I did. I started going to counseling. I started going to a psychiatrist. She diagnosed me with depression and bipolar. I immediately got on medication and immediately started feeling better. So I thought. Then the worst happened. Not only did I end up working again, but I also lost my job because I got even sicker. So, went back to the doctor. Doctor says, "Oh, I know what's wrong." I'm like, "Okay, cool. What's it? What is it?" Diagnosed me with depression, bipolar. But because I was hearing things, I now have psychosis features. And I know what you're thinking. She got people in her head. No, it's nothing like that. And if I was to explain it to you, you wouldn't understand. But I'm going to explain it to you just so you can get a feel for it. It's as if my thoughts are having thoughts. So I'm battling in my head with conversation. And it's as if you thought something and it answered back. That's what goes on through my head. And it really jacks you up. Over the years, I've been diagnosed some more. As of today, 2015, I'm now diagnosed with anxiety, borderline personality disorder, depression, and bipolar. And I'm normal. I am going to be normal in my own way. Mental illness does not define who I am as a person. It only makes me a better person, easier person, an amazing person. Because I choose life. That's what I choose. I choose life. And although I'm living with mental illness, I'm not going to let it control me. I can't let it control me. Over the years, I've thought, I'm not normal. I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. And yes, I am different. I'm very different. But what makes me so different is because of the fact that I'm willing to fight for my life. A lot of people like to give up, but I fight for my life. I created a foundation called Focusing and Growth and Holding Together. And I created a Team Jess. We're all about fighting. We're in a ring and we're in a ring together. And we're determined to beat this illness. It's not going to be easy. It's an everyday battle. It's a battle just to get up out of bed. It's a battle to go to the store. It's a battle to be in a crowd of people. But you got to be willing to fight, and you got to be willing to do what it takes to make it happen, and to never, ever give up. So my question for you, are you willing to fight? Are you willing to join this ring with me? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to say, this does not define me? This does not make me who I am. This only makes me unique. And this only makes me one hell of a person that can't nobody ever change. My name is Jessica Kelly. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I hope you've gotten a lot of information. If you ever want to talk, please email me, info@fightteamjess.com. Again, that's info@fightteamjess.com. I'll also put the link below so you guys will be able to see it. But once again, we're in this ring together, and we're going to fight, and we're not giving up. We're going to win. We're saying no to suicide and yes to life. Have a great day.